This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holidays are over, the decorations are down, and suddenly everything feels a little empty. It's normal to feel the winter blues after the holiday excitement. January, February, and March are by far my least favorite months of the year. It's cold and dark, and I have to get some extra vitamin D on board. I also need to keep my regular scheduled appointments with my therapist. So if you're feeling that post-holiday funk, I definitely suggest you checking out BetterHelp because maybe it's time to talk. You might also be one of those people like me who makes New Year's resolutions and you get super motivated. So maybe you need someone behind you to hold you accountable and come up with a plan to meet your goals. BetterHelp is super convenient, totally online. You have a therapist right at your fingertips whenever you need them. So head over to betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 for 10% off your first month.
More Chumba Casino fan mail. Love this. It says, Dear Ryan, I love Chumba Casino. They're so much fun. I love the wild ride from the social slots to the Slingo to jackpots quicker than a 6-time real spin. Everybody's finding their fun at Chumba Casino. Why don't you find out for yourself? Head to ChumbaCasino.com and enjoy hundreds of casino-style games for free with your welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ, you know, missing persons cases are really bizarre. And honestly, they're really frustrating to try to figure out. Today, I'm telling you a case about 3 women who went missing in the same night from the same house. And it's been 30 years, and no one has any idea where they are. This is the case of the Springfield 3. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband, Russ, true crime cases and he reacts to them.
What's up, folks?
What's up, Russ?
Chilling, back another week for the pod.
Yeah, we had a snowstorm today. We're snowed in. I used to love snow days as a kid.
We're not snowed in because I'm not one of those people that are worried about driving in the snow because it's much easier to do donuts in your car.
That's true. You do like going in the snow and driving around.
Yeah,
More than most, honestly.
Yeah, because there's less people on the road, and I went to the Home Depot parking lot. I needed a drill today because I'm a man, and so I went and put a drill. But there was enough room to do donuts.
You should have seen him when he came home with his new tools. He felt so manly.
Hey,
Excited.
If anyone needs anything fixed, hit your boy up. I probably still won't help you, but it'll make me feel good that you thought that I could fix it. So let's get into true crime stuff this week.
Oh, okay.
So I saw something on the internet where I am the street justice
guy. Yeah. You're a big fan of street justice. We talked about this in an episode a while back. I can't remember when it was. With the case of Ken Rex McElroy. Do you remember that one where the whole town?
Yeah, he was the bully.
Town bully. Yeah.
He was beating everyone up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the headline of this one is Texas brothers beat stepfather to death after finding out he was raping their sister.
Oh, yeah. You shared this on Instagram.
I did. And some people aren't okay with street justice.
Yeah, they aren't.
But if this was the case, I didn't look deep into it. I looked briefly and I read an article that was probably 4 paragraphs long.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is the case, those brothers should not be arrested. They should be commended, and there should be a parade for them, because we have parades for people that can put a round ball into a hole. And these guys are actually if they went and saved their sister, these guys' names are Alejandro Trevino. I'm going to butcher these, but I haven't good intentions. Christian Trevino, and Juan Eduardo Melendez. So if these dudes went and took care of the dude that was molesting and raping their sister, shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
And I bet everyone, that went through a bad situation wish they would have people that would take care of them like that.
That's true. No, it's true. I mean, some people don't agree with street justice because it's like, where do you draw the line? But at the same time, I agree that scumbag pieces of shit that'll molest children.
Well, this guy, his name was, I'm going to butcher this too because, these are like Spanish names that you got to roll your tongue with. And I'm a white dude and I cannot roll my tongue.
Okay.
So his name was Quintilia, but he also was wanted on charges of continual sexual assault of a child.
Damn.
And assault family violence. So this dude, I don't draw the line anywhere. I think it didn't go far enough. Well, they killed him, so it definitely went as far as it could go. I
think they should have put his head on a stick and walked around with it. This is what happens with anyone that messes with my family.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bit far.
No, and then they should have put his head on the floor and played soccer with it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I have no remorse.
Okay. But I agree. Like, he's a level 10 piece of shit. If you touch a child, you're the worst of the worst.
And he's been wanted for continual sexual assault.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, you're a terrible human being.
But
they're all going to jail, right?
I don't know where it currently stands, but they all got arrested. Yeah. And I know they're probably going to get time.
I mean, yeah, they murdered someone.
Because you're not allowed to kill people.
Yeah.
But this is why, if I was president, I would pardon them.
Yeah.
And I would bring them to the White House. And I would give them a job of security because, they don't play.
That's true.
I'm like, I got your back, you got mine. Anybody messes around, take care of that. So, shout out to those dudes. But I'm going to change the subject now because I'm kind of annoyed.
Oh, okay.
And Jess didn't know it was going here.
Uh-oh. What?
Is there any other guys here that their wives wear their underwear and socks?
I mean, I'm sorry, but like, your boxer briefs can be very comfortable to sleep in.
So it's very annoying because today I went to get dressed and just maybe wore like 3 pairs or something in the past time.
I wear them to sleep.
So, but now today I go to get dressed and I don't have any. I'm sitting here without underwear, folks. There's no underwear on me right now. And these jeans are kind of rough. It was snowing today. I wore boots without socks.
You did not. You're lying. He has socks on.
But I have no underwear on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so but I had no socks on, and all there were like little ankle socks. So then the boots could kind of like rub on your top of your ankle and give you blisters. So if anyone else is going through this pain, let me know because men are suffering everywhere.
Oh God!
And we need help. It has to stop.
I do sometimes wear your underwear to bed because it's very comfortable, and I sometimes wear your t-shirt as well.
Yeah, so what's annoying about that is she wears my t-shirts as if these are little throwaway things. But these are my actual clothes I wear every day. She thinks they're trash.
Well, sorry about that. I'll do the laundry.
Yeah, I could use some underwear.
Well, we have a bonus episode coming out at the end of the week. You guys look out for that. So you're getting a 2-for-1 this week with episodes. You're getting one on our regular schedule, but then we have a bonus episode that we recorded with a good friend of ours. We can't wait to release it. It's going to be coming out later this week, so look out for that in your feed. And then as far as Patreon, we just released a Blabber Time episode. So there's a lot going on lately with extra content, but you have the patron shout outs. Are you ready?
Yeah. Also, if you hate commercials, because some people put up they hate commercials, you get rid of the commercials, go commercial free on Patreon. I think it's like $2 or something.
It's $2 for commercial free.
Yeah. So I have review of the week.
Oh, okay.
There was a really good long one, but I spoke a lot today and I'm kind of tired of talking, so I'm going to pick another one that's shorter.
Okay. At least he's honest, folks.
Yeah, the other one was good, but I'm tired of talking. It's Jess's turn. Come on. So it says, love this podcast. And this is from love with 3 heart emojis. So it says, great podcast, great banter back and forth, very entertaining. Russ, I'm asking the same questions you're asking. Jess, I'm getting irritated at Russ the same time you are. LOL.
That was funny. That's actually really good because it shows that people can listen to us and they might get irritated with you, but they keep coming back because you can listen to people you don't agree with or irritate you. It's all love here.
Jess is always wrong. I always disagree with her. But, like, we're still cool. And if you've been around here for a while, you know I say a lot of dumb shit. I say shit I don't mean.
Yeah.
So I disagree with myself sometimes. I just say stuff because I think it's funny to say. So anyway, let's get into these Patreon shout-outs so Jess can get to the story. We've been rambling.
Okay.
So the Patrons this week, which I'm very appreciative of, as always, is Natalie, Madison, Julia, Stormy, Carla, Amanda, Trina, or Rena? How'd you write
Rena.
that? Rena, Angela, Amanda, Denise, Kimberly, Lupe, Emily, Cynthia, Tria. Your handwriting's terrible, Jess. Jess writes these down. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Let me know. Tricia, I think. Trisha. I'll do it again. Evelyn, Sarah, Erica, Tina, Danielle, Erin, Robin, Vanessa, Elle McGee, and then we have Yuri, I think, Judy, jury duty? I don't know. And shout out to Matt, too. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. All right. Well, the case I have for you today has been requested actually many, many, many times. It's pretty well known as far as like the true crime community goes. And a few podcasts have covered this one. But whenever I get messages, it's really funny. Whenever I get messages about popular cases, then it always goes like this. I get these messages. They tell me which case they want to hear. And they always say, quote, in one way or another, I know other pods have covered it, but I want to hear what Russ thinks of this one.
It's a lot of pressure.
So people want to know what the profiler thinks of these popular cases.
Hashtag vote for Russ all day.
They want your analysis. So it's one thing to have a missing persons case, but it's a whole other bunch of craziness to have 3 people go missing. A few months back, we did a case about the Jamison family, which was really bizarre, about the family that went missing, all 3 of them. And then, later on in the story, we found out that they found their bodies. It's a really crazy case. If you haven't heard it, go listen. It's a doozy.
I'm not sure if I remember that.
You'll remember if I tell all the details, but it's fine. So this case I have for you is similar to that one. 3 people literally vanish without a trace. But unlike the Jamisons, these 3 women were never seen again. It's been 30 years. And although 2 of the women have been legally declared dead, there is still literally no trace of them and very few credible leads.
Can you be declared dead if they didn't find your body?
You can legally be declared dead if you've been missing for a certain amount of time and your family decides, we don't think that they're coming back.
So, like, if I moved to Thailand and I wasn't heard from for like 30 years, I'd be declared dead and someone can collect my life insurance.
Yeah.
I've seen something on TV where people like fake their deaths in other countries and they did burials and stuff so that they can like collect their life insurance.
Yeah. Well, you can definitely be declared dead if the body isn't found, but you've been missing for a certain amount of time. I don't know like the amount of time it has to go by.
So if you're still alive and you faked your death, technically you woke up dead.
True. If you intentionally faked your death, then technically you woke up dead. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have your
in Thailand on the beach.
You have your life insurance money. I woke up dead. This is the best.
That's true.
Maybe we figured out the real definition of woke up dead.
Maybe,
finally.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for this case?
For shizzle.
On June 6th, 1992, in Springfield, Missouri, 2 really good friends, Stacy McCall and Suzie Streeter, had just graduated high school. Their high school's name, which is kind of funny to me, I don't know why I found this funny, but their high school's name is Kickapoo High School.
It's because it says kick and poo in the same sentence.
Kickapoo. It's actually cute. Kickapoo High School. Stacy was 18 and Suzie was 19. And both girls were known to be very fun and outgoing. Stacy hung out with the funny kids, like the class clowns. And Suzie kind of hung out with more of the popular kids. She even dated a football player who was known to be a little bit of a bad boy. But the two girls had remained friends for years and years. After the graduation ceremony that night, they had planned to, after they had dinner with their families and stuff, to go to a party and then go with a group of kids to a hotel in Branson, which was like a little, it's still in Missouri, but it's like a little ways away from Springfield. And then the next day, they were going to go to a water park in the area with a group of kids from their school.
I love lazy rivers.
Exactly. So around 10 p.m., Stacy called her mom, Janice, and told her that the plans had changed, that the girls actually decided they weren't going to go all the way to Branson to this hotel, but instead they were going to stay at the party that they were at because they were having a lot of fun, and then they were going to spend the night later on with their friend Janelle at her house. So around 10:30, Suzie called her mom, Sherrill, and told her the same thing. We're not going to this hotel in Branson. We're going to stay at this party and then go to Janelle's house. So at approximately 2 a.m., Suzie and Stacy go to Janelle's house, but because she had just graduated, she had a bunch of family in town, and there was nowhere for them to sleep, and it was like really uncomfortable. So Suzie and Stacy told Janelle, they're like, you know what? Actually, let's just go back to Suzie's house. We'll go sleep there. We'll meet up with you in the morning because there's nowhere for us to sleep, and I'd rather sleep in a bed, right? They didn't want to sleep on the floor. So they headed back over to Suzie's house to sleep there. And it was just her mom, Sherrill, home because her mom was a single mom, and Suzie and Sherrill were the only ones that lived in the house. Suzie and Stacy ended up getting back to Suzie's house around between 2 and 3 a.m. Okay, so just remember that time. So the next morning, June 7th, 1992, Janelle, who was the friend that they were gonna spend the night with, called Suzie's house to try to figure out the plans because they were all supposed to go to this water park.
This is a lot of logistics, man. I'm gonna try to clear it up when people start missing and stuff, but it's Judy and Janelle and
Stacy and Suzie.
Wait, Janelle. Go ahead. It'll clear up soon.
Yeah. So they were all going to go to this water park. So Janelle calls Suzie's house to try to figure out the plans with the girls. Like, when are we leaving? What's going on? But there was no answer. So she assumed the girls were probably sleeping because they didn't get, back home until 2 or 3 in the morning. And maybe they slept in.
How old were these girls?
They had just graduated high school. So they were 18, 19.
You shouldn't be out that late if you're 18, 19. You got to go home. Nothing good happens, especially for girls that late. Because people out, they're drunk, and people that are doing good things are sleeping, getting ready for the next day.
Well, they were at a party. It was their graduation. Whatever.
Not even allowed to drink, kids. Go home.
So, some time goes by. Now it's 12 p.m. And after still not hearing from her friends, Janelle told her boyfriend, she said, look, let's go drive by the house and check and see what's up with these girls. We were all supposed to meet up in the morning, go to the water park. It's already 12 o'clock and I haven't heard from them.
And no one misses a trip for a lazy river.
Exactly. So Janelle and her boyfriend drive over to Suzie's house to check on them. They saw all 3 cars outside, Sherrill's car, Suzie's, and Stacy's. As they walked up to the porch, they saw that the porch light had been busted and there was glass all over the porch. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They walked into the front door that was already open, and they called for them, but no one was there. So they walked through the house, and they noticed that the beds were all unmade, as if someone had slept there. They also noticed that all 3 of the women's belongings were still there, including keys, wallets, cigarettes, and Stacy's overnight bag with all her clothes. So it was clear that the girls were all gone, and so was Sherrill, Suzie's mom.
The mom's missing
all
too.
3 of them were gone, but all their stuff was there. And
but did they live there? That was their house, right?
It was Suzie and Sherrill's house.
So of course your stuff's gonna be there. You live there.
No, but their wallets, keys, it's like they never left the house because their cars were there, their wallet, keys.
That's kind of like when you leave the house, you forget everything. So people are she can't be gone. Her purse is here, her hat, her gloves. She didn't put a jacket on.
Well, in this case, all their stuff was there. One of the rooms had a TV on, but all that was playing on the TV was static. And Cinnamon, their dog's name was Cinnamon.
Popular stripper name.
She was barking and shaking and acting very anxious.
Aw.
So suddenly, while Janelle and her boyfriend are in the house looking around, the phone rings, and Janelle decides to answer it. On the other end was a man's voice, and he started saying really weird shit, talking about all this sexual stuff into the phone. And Janelle hangs up on him immediately. But then,
wait, but she should ask, who is this?
Well, I think she might have thought like it's a prank call or something, but then the man calls back again as soon as she hung up.
He said, would you like to play a
and
game?
then he was saying all this weird sexual stuff again, so she hung up again because she was a little freaked out. So this is interesting to me. Janelle and her boyfriend claim they thought the girls may have gone to the water park with someone else, maybe. So they just leave. They just leave and go to the water park. And to me, that's weird. Like, why wouldn't you call the cops or something?
And say that the booty bandit just called.
No, but really, Russ, I'm serious. Like,
You know who the booty bandit is?
Russ, I'm serious.
Me too.
Isn't that weird? Like, they're walking through the house. They see all their stuff there. They see the cars are in the driveway. They see that nothing is missing and the girls are gone, but they just decide to go to the water park.
I don't know. Maybe their tickets expired after a certain time. They had to use them.
But that's her friend. Like, she's friends with all of them. I don't know. I just found it weird.
I don't know. Sometimes you might think that. So, like, if you're going to a water park, you leave your stuff behind. Because I'm cheap. I don't like renting a locker. So I leave all my stuff behind when I go to a water park. The car, I don't know how they would get there, though.
Yeah. I mean, I guess unless she was like, maybe they got a ride with someone else and didn't tell me. Like, that's a possibility. So now...
Who's the booty bandit? We're going to find out?
No. We never find out who this weird caller was. Isn't that really bizarre, though? Last year, Save More Money was the most popular New Year's resolution in America. Clearly, a lot of us feel like our money is slipping through our fingers. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not the best saver, and I don't know much about investing until I started saving and investing with Acorns. Turns out you don't have to be an expert at all because Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals. And I always thought that when people say, ooh, I invest in stocks, that they had a ton of money or something. Well, you don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money you've got right now. You can literally start with $5. And you know you guys are spending that at Starbucks on these fancy lattes. So skip the coffee and invest with Acorns. You don't even need a ton of time. Like, you can just sign up and start investing within 5 minutes. Head over to acorns.com/wifeofcrime or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. That's acorns.com/wifeofcrime. You guys already know because we have been talking about them for a while now. Via Hemp is by far one of our favorite sponsors we've ever had, okay? We use their products all the time. Maybe you're a little like me. You're a little anxious. You have a hard time settling down. You're kind of wound up a lot. If that's you, Via Hemp products are for you. Check out their website. You will find something that speaks to you. Maybe you're like Russ. You have a hard time sleeping because you have bad nerve pain or chronic pain. Then Via Hemp is for you because their gummies will help you get some quality sleep. Maybe you're looking to have a really good time. Maybe you just really like edibles. You want to laugh. You want to get the munchies. You want to watch a movie and have a really strong belly laugh. Then Via Hemp products are for you, okay? They're literally for everybody. So head over to viahemp.com, promo code wifeofcrime1 to get 15% off your first order. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Wife of Crime #1 for 15% off your first order. So now Janice, Stacy's mom, she hadn't heard from her daughter all day. And now it's the afternoon. So she decides, let me just start calling Susie's house. And, maybe I can talk to Susie's mom, Sherrill, and find out where my daughter is and when she's coming home.
So they didn't have caller ID back then, right?
Yeah, this is 1992.
Damn. Or that was like an extra fee, and that's $10.
I don't even think it existed back then.
I'll find out.
ID.
Russ, the researcher, hasn't been around in a while.
Oh, okay. Around 7:30 p.m., Janice decides, you know what, let me just drive over to Susie's house and find out what's going on, because I haven't heard from my daughter all day. And it's not like her to not at least let me know, Mom, I'm going to the water park. I'll be home around this time. So she pulls up to the house.
Breaking news, folks.
What?
Caller ID, which I don't know anyone who had it at this time, was invented by New Jersey Bell in 1987 and made available to customers in 1988.
Wow.
So that's crazy, but I don't know anyone who had it then.
I didn't have it then. Yeah.
It was probably a lot of money. That's when you used to play like pick up phone roulette. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, damn it, this person's calling me for money.
That's true.
Or like, I feel like before caller ID was around, most people had answer machines and screened their phone calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My mom screened phone calls. She was weird with that.
Yeah, she just never picked up the phone.
Oh my God. I couldn't even pick up the phone. Maybe because it might have been my Aunt Carol or something. And they always fought with each other.
Oh.
They believed in different Jesuses. Like one was a Catholic Jesus and one was a born again Jesus, and they hated each other.
Oh God. That's stupid.
It really was.
So if you guys love Wife of Crime, that means that you like your true crime with a little bit of banter and a little bit of humor. If that's the case, then you have to check out Not Another True Crime Podcast. Here are Sarah and Danny to tell you a little more about their show.
Are you that person who watches serial killer documentaries for fun?
Are you tired of girls from your high school messaging you about joining their pyramid scheme?
Not Another True Crime Podcast by Betches Media is the podcast for you. From crimes, cults, and conspiracies to scams and schemes, we are covering true crime with a necessary dose of humor, so it's informative and fun to listen to.
I'm Sarah Levine.
And I'm Danny Murphy.
And each week, we pick one case and go through the facts, starting from the biography to the timelines and all the relevant updates.
Plus, we cover trending true crime documentaries and give our takes on if they're really worth watching. And you'll love our weekly games, including true crime trivia and breaking news headlines.
Listen to Not Another True Crime Podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Again, that's Not Another True Crime Podcast from Betches Media.
So around 7:30 p.m., like I said, Janice decides to drive over to Susie's house to find out what's going on, because this is not like her daughter to not reach out and let her know what's happening. So she too walks into the house and starts looking around because the front door was open. And she sees her daughter's clothes that she wore the day before at the graduation were neatly folded up on Susie's bed. She also sees that the answering machine is blinking. So she hits play. And she described the message as a strange male voice, but then later tells police that after she listened to the message, she accidentally deleted it. So Janice calls police now because she's like freaked out, okay? And they arrive on scene. But this is where things really get messed up, because the police did not treat this crime scene well at all. There were actually about 18 people walking through the house, just like contaminating everything. And some of the people even started cleaning stuff up. Like they didn't treat it as a crime scene at all. Which is weird to me.
Did they just treat it as a dirty house and show up with Swiffers?
No, like they just walked in and walked around and like picked stuff up and put their hands all over it. This is a crime scene. But they didn't treat it that way. So they later told media that they could not get any evidence from the home because of the people who went there before. So the cops blamed it on Janice and Janelle and said, oh, those people all walked through it. So the crime scene was contaminated anyway. So we wouldn't have been able to get anything anyway.
Because they had a parade in the house.
Exactly. The only thing cops knew is that there was a 6-hour window in which this crime could have occurred. So they literally had nothing. So the FBI eventually got involved, and they pretty much had no leads. Meanwhile, poor Janice, Stacy's mom, was desperate for answers. You know, she is incredibly desperate at this point. So she printed out thousands and thousands of missing persons photos on yellow paper, like bright yellow paper, of all three women, Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy.
How long were they missing before she did this?
Like she did it like the next day or the day after, like within the week.
Oh, okay. She
good.
wanted
Don't waste
answers.
time.
Exactly. She wanted answers so bad, and she hit the pavement, right? She just walked from business to business to business. Can I hang this in your window? Can I hang this in your window? Put on everywhere. And there's people, when you look up this case and you read like comments about this case in like different YouTube videos or Reddit and stuff, I saw a lot of people say, you know, they lived in the area at the time and they remember seeing these bright yellow, you know, wanting posters or missing persons posters. She did this, but unfortunately, you know, they got no leads and the investigation just kept going nowhere. About a month later, in July, a witness called in a tip to the tip line that they had set up. She said that she had seen Suzie driving a green van on the morning of June 7th, which was the morning all the women went missing. She claimed that Suzie looked distraught and they were at a red light. And the woman said she heard a male voice in the van scream at Suzie and say, "You better not do anything stupid." And then the van drove off.
Were the windows open?
Yeah.
Okay.
So police put a green van, identical to the one that the woman described, in front of the police station and asked the media to put it all over the TV and say, if you saw this type of van with a young girl driving it about a month ago, please call in a tip. Let us know. And additional tips actually came in. And a man called and said he saw a young girl sitting in the driver's seat of a van in a parking lot the morning of June 7th. And he even felt so weird about it. Like he noticed her face and how she didn't look good. Like she looked anxious and uneasy. And he felt so weird about it that he even wrote down the license plate number.
Wow.
Just in case.
So there was something fishy.
But sadly, because he heard nothing about anything until a month later, he threw the piece of paper away.
Oh.
Because in his mind, he thought, oh, maybe I'm crazy. Like, no big deal. And he threw it away. So he didn't have it anymore, the license plate number. Another woman called and gave a tip. She was a waitress at a local restaurant who claimed to see all three women at the restaurant around 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning that they went missing. She said Sherrill was trying to calm down her daughter Suzie, who was pretty drunk. She also said that they were approached by three men and they were talking to them, but police questioned other like bartenders and waitresses that worked there, and none of them could corroborate the story. So that led nowhere.
Did you just say that?
What?
Corroborate?
Corroborate.
You
Yes,
did it.
I did it right.
All right. Congratulations.
All of our listeners who've listened for a while will know that I had a hard time with that word in previous episodes, and Russ made fun of me.
Well, this podcast is full of inside jokes if you've been listening for a while.
It is, yeah.
Other people will be like, what are they talking about? And like the other 70% that's been here, they're like, haha, just corroborated.
You guys know all of our inside jokes if you've been here a while. So police then started searching like local streams and bodies of water because at this point it's been a few months. The girls are the three women are still not turning up, and now they're losing hope of finding them alive, unfortunately. So they started searching bodies of water all around the area and they found nothing. And they also started gathering more info about the women and their personal lives. They found out that Sherrill had another kid besides Suzie, and his name was Bart. So this is Suzie's brother. So Sherrill and Suzie had cut ties with Bart, like completely cut him out of their lives only a month earlier because of his excessive drinking and being violent.
Did he have a green van?
No. Police initially looked at him as a suspect, but he seemed to have a rock-solid alibi, and he passed a polygraph, so they dropped the charges.
And we all know polygraphs are 100% accurate.
Yeah, but he also had an alibi that was rock solid.
That's me being sarcastic, folks.
Suzie's ex-boyfriend was a guy named Dustin, and he was actually known to police because he was arrested earlier in the year for, get this is weird, he was breaking into mausoleums and stealing the gold fillings out of the skulls.
Wow.
So people are fucking weird.
That is weird. But gold is expensive.
I know, but it's weird. So Suzie, this was her ex, and she was about to testify against him at his trial.
For the gold tooths?
For
Teeth?
him stealing
I
these
said
gold
tooths.
teeth
in the in a couple months.
Why? Don't snitch on that. Tell if he's like, it ain't killing no one. It's weird and eerie, but don't just.
Well, they might have subpoenaed her. Like you can't help get subpoenaed. Like if someone, and then if you lie on the stand, you're going to go to jail for perjury. So if you get subpoenaed into court and they ask you questions and you don't answer them honestly and it's proven, you are yourself going to get in trouble. And she was only an 18-year-old girl.
Can't you just always plead the fifth? Like that's where like you have the right to not testify if it has a chance of incriminating yourself.
But she wasn't getting incriminated. It was about her ex. So I don't know. So another suspect was a guy named Robert Cox. Now this guy is really interesting. Robert had a history of violent behavior, and he was even convicted of murdering a woman a few years back. But the conviction was overturned due to lack of evidence. Robert lived in Springfield at the time and actually worked with Stacy's dad at the same car dealership. So when brought in for questioning, he claims that he was at a golf tournament the night of the graduation and that he spent the whole next day at his girlfriend's house. And his girlfriend, she was brought in and questioned, and she said the same thing. Years later, he was arrested in Texas for aggravated robbery, and police in Springfield found out that he was arrested in Texas, so they decided to revisit him as a suspect because they're like, this guy is kind of a scumbag, so let's go talk to him. And they also spoke to his girlfriend, who's now his ex, and she said that she lied, that the alibi was fake. That she lied.
But now which story do you believe? Now that they're exes, is she mad because things didn't go well? So that's a little fishy too. She probably is telling the truth the second time around, but why do we believe you now? You know, you're broken up. What happened? If you broke up, things didn't end well, most likely.
Yeah. No, it's true. Well, they flew out to Texas. Police flew out to Texas because they wanted to talk to him while he was locked up. And when they did, honestly, the interview was super weird. When they talked to him, he said a lot of really weird things. He said that he knew these women were dead. He knew they were murdered. And he said that Sherrill was the target and the other two girls were just, at the wrong place, in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he also said that he knows more information, but he won't say anything else. That's it. That's all he was going to say.
How does he know?
He wouldn't say how he knew. So Robert refused to take a polygraph, which, whatever.
Ignore him.
We're against them anyway.
He just wants attention at this point.
And he refused to speak anymore about this until his mother dies. That's what he said. I refuse to speak about this anymore until my mother dies.
How old was she?
His mom's still alive today. So
oh, dip.
This is super bizarre. And police were like, we don't believe this guy. He's just saying this for attention. This is clearly for attention, just like what you just said. They didn't buy it. So they figured he doesn't actually know anything. So now in December 1992, America's Most Wanted aired this case. So it happened in June. So now this is December.
It's a good show. What's that dude's name?
Oh, I forgot his name off the top
John.
of my head. John Walsh?
I'll look it up too.
Yeah, it's John Walsh.
Yeah, he was dope. He's the OG true crimer.
Yeah, he really is. And it was all because his son was taken. Right? Was it his son or his daughter?
Something about his kids went missing.
Yeah. And that's why he started the show.
Jess, you really got to get your facts straight if you can tell a story.
Shut up. So, December 1992, America's Most Wanted aired the case. And they received a phone call directly after the case aired from a male who claimed to have vital information. But when producers picked up the phone, the caller hung up. They got on TV and they said, whoever just called us, please call us back. We want to know the information that you claim to have. And they never called back.
Damn. So I just looked up John Walsh. So Russ, the researcher, is making 2 appearances today. Mm-hmm. So Adam Walsh was his son.
Yeah.
And he was abducted from a Sears department store in the Hollywood Mall in Florida. Mm-hmm. And his severed head was found 2 weeks later in a canal along the highway.
It's sad, right?
That's crazy. So then his father became an advocate for justice, I guess. It says advocate for victims of violent crimes and was the host of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah. And I actually know that story. I've heard a few podcasts cover Adam Walsh's case now that you say that.
Yeah, and there was someone that confessed to his son's crime. It was a convicted serial killer named Otis Toole that confessed to killing his son.
Although
Adam
Otis
Walsh.
Yeah, Otis Toole, though, he confessed to a lot of serial killings. So I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah, well, I'm reading Wikipedia, and we all know that Wikipedia is 100% factually correct, written by all the public.
So anyway, America's Most Wanted aired this. There was a caller. He hung up when the producers got on. They threw out this plea, and they were like, please call us back, but they never did. So Sherrill and Suzie were legally declared dead in 1997. But Stacy has still to this day not been declared dead because her mother refuses to stop fighting for a resolution in this case. So now fast forward to the 2000s. A local crime reporter decided she wanted to try to work the case and see if she could get any more information. And she wanted to run the story again and kind of bring it back to light because it had been about 10 or so years since it happened. She claimed that many tips came in saying that the women were buried under the parking garage for a local hospital called Cox North Hospital. So in 2007, she hired a mechanical engineer who came out and used this concrete penetrating device to scan under the concrete of the floor of the parking garage.
Like a LiDAR.
Yeah, it was like it's like a thing that scans through concrete. And he apparently found 3 separate anomalies right next to each other. And they all looked like similar images. And he says they looked like what graves look like when something is buried. But police wouldn't dig it up. She took all this information to police. She took his report, this mechanical engineer's report, and they said there isn't enough evidence to actually go and dig up this, garage floor. And they thought, well, the garage was built a year after the women went missing, so an excavator would have found the bodies if they were buried.
I wonder what would have been enough information to justify them digging up the garage floor.
I don't know what.
A video?
He had this image. He had like an actual image. When you can actually look it up on YouTube and see the footage of him scanning it and showing the spots that he thought were suspicious.
I wonder how reliable this guy is.
Well, he's a mechanical engineer, so he deals with this stuff all the time. So I feel like police should have at least considered it. But they claimed that the excavator that, dug up the area before the concrete was laid for the garage would have found the bodies. However, we know from the 1982 horror movie Poltergeist that doesn't always happen. And even though Poltergeist was a fictional movie, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes developers are in a rush to get stuff built because they want to make money. And they don't always do these construction projects the right way. And remember that movie? All the houses in the entire town were built on top of a graveyard and they never took the bodies out.
I feel like our condo was built like shit too.
Maybe. So since 1992, police have received over 5,000 separate tips. But unfortunately, none of them have led anywhere. And this case, even 30 years later, is still unsolved. And no one knows what happened to these 3 women. So let's talk theories. Okay, I love talking theories about unsolved cases. So the women clearly didn't run away, right? Like that's off the table because their cars were there and all of their stuff is there. And there was no activity in bank accounts. Like clearly they didn't run away.
Yep.
I don't think Stacy and Suzie were the targets of whatever went down that night because up until 2 a.m., they were thought to be at Janelle's house and Sherrill was alone until 2 a.m., right? So if someone is planning to hurt them, Stacy and Suzie weren't the target of anything, in my opinion. because they weren't even supposed to be there.
Maybe. I'm a little confused with all the names, so I'm not going to like try to distinguish who was the target necessarily.
Well, Sherrill was the mom, and she was the only one in the house.
Yeah.
Stacy and Suzie were the two girls who were supposed to be spending the night out, but last minute changed their mind and came home.
My only theory, the one and only, is they had to find out who the booty bandit was that was calling the house the first 2 times talking all nasty.
Because you think that person is...
Yeah, because he called back. If he just would have hung up and let it go, then maybe you could have said it was a mistake. Or...
But why? If he
Because he called back talking crazy.
But if he was involved in abducting them, why would he call?
Yeah, and how would he know that those people were in the house to pick up the phone at that time?
Yeah, it's weird. So...
Well, people that kill people are weird.
Well, yeah, true.
So you can't put nothing past them.
Well, this definitely wasn't a robbery gone wrong. That's obvious, too, because nothing was stolen. Police, looked through everything. No jewelry was stolen, no valuables, no electronics, like nothing was taken from the house. There was actually, Sherrill's wallet was there, and it had $900 in it.
Oh.
And that wasn't taken.
And that's like $1 million with today's inflation numbers.
Yeah, so like that is off the table. It wasn't a robbery. So I also... I wonder if they knew the perpetrators because there was also no evidence of a struggle or a fight. And not that anyone would always fight back, but like, I don't know, maybe they felt comfortable with whoever was there. Maybe they, knew them and invited them in the house and then things got crazy after. We don't know.
But even if I know someone, I'm going to like, hold on, let me grab my keys, let me grab my wallet.
Yeah.
Things like that. I'm just not going to leave unless I'm forgetful like Jess.
Well, even still, it's 2 a.m. Like, who's coming to your house at 2 a.m?
Booty bandits.
I mean,
Booty calls.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. This case is very like mind-bending and boggling, and there's just no answers, what makes it so hard because unsolved cases are like that. Like, they're just so difficult.
I just think the only thing I can think of is the guy that called twice.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, there's nothing.
Yeah, I know. But it's interesting that they wouldn't dig up the garage floor. If I was one of the family members of them, I would have been really pushing for that.
Whose floor is it and how much does it cost to dig it up and put it back? Yeah. So like if I own someone came right now and said, we need to dig up your floor. Well, who's going to pay to fix it back?
Well, it's a hospital. It's a hospital garage. The bottom floor of a hospital garage.
Someone still has to pay for it, and we all know that hospitals are very greedy because they understaff nurses all the time. Just found that funny. No one else will except other nurses.
No, we have other nurses that listen, and they'll agree. It's so true.
Yeah, so you're all working by yourself tonight.
Well, that's it. That's the case of the Springfield 3, and it's still unsolved. And it's very interesting to me, these unsolved cases, because like I just want to know.
Yeah, unsolved cases are annoying.
I know, because it's like you want the answers, right?
Yeah, so now I feel like
incomplete.
I feel like this is the ending of Dexter. Like, damn, bro, what the hell happened?
I know. All right, everyone. Well, comment below on the post that we post on social media and stuff and let us know what your theories are and if you have any other details that I didn't cover. And don't forget, go to wifecrime.com for some dope-ass merch. I ordered mine because we have to order our own, too, because we get it from like a third party. Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting for mine. What the hell? I gave my brother mine. Yeah, it should be coming soon. All right, well, have a wonderful week, everyone. Look out for our bonus episode coming out at the end of the week. And we'll talk to you later. Peace. Bye.